last week, mission briefing was titled Win Your Wife. And this is kind of a continuation of that. This is like a part two. So if you didn't hear Win Your Wife mission brief last week, go back and listen to that one before you hear this. But the basic overview of last week was you got to spend time talking with your wife every day, practicing being a good listener. You have to ask her questions. You have to draw out information from her, not stuff about oil changes and groceries and bills, but stuff about her ideas, concerns, thoughts, opinions. And it's through that emotional connection, emotional intimacy that then follows the physical connection, physical intimacy. So that was the gist of last week. And a lot of men get it wrong because, well, we're always pursuing the physical intimacy, right? We're always going after sex. And it doesn't work that way. We got to pursue the emotional connection first, then the sex will follow. Today's briefing is along that line. And it can really be summed up like this. Men, do your own laundry. Do your own laundry. Now, let me unpack that for you. What I mean by that is don't treat your wife like she's your mom. A lot of men, as soon as they get married, they start to treat their wife like she's their mom. They're looking to her to do their cooking and their cleaning, picking up after them, making them meals, doing their dishes, putting away their laundry. This creates the dynamic of the man being the little boy and the wife being the mother. And that is an excellent way to destroy intimacy in a marriage. That's a great way to destroy the husband-wife dynamic if you turn it into the mother-son dynamic. Guys, don't be dependent on your wife. Don't need her. Don't need her. Be independent. Take care of your own stuff. Wash your own clothes. Wash your own bath towel. Clean your own shower. Make a meal every now and then, right? Whether she works outside the house or not, it doesn't matter. You guys are both in this together, and a good marriage is not 50-50. A good marriage is 100-100. So you've got to give it everything you've got. I don't want to be this needy, clingy, dependent on my wife kind of a spouse. I want to be totally independent, healthy, autonomous man who does not need his wife. Now, I love my wife and I want to be with her, but that's by choice, not by need. By need is called codependency. And that creates all sorts of future problems down the line. So guys, listen, if you come home from work and you think the kitchen is messy, clean it. Clean your own kitchen because it's your kitchen. And you know what? If you didn't have a wife, you would clean your own kitchen. And if you keep acting the way you are, you might find yourself in that situation again. So either way, you need to clean your kitchen. If you think nobody's cleaning up after the kids, then you clean up after them or train them how to clean up after themselves. Do your own laundry, right? Act the way you did when you were single. And that's what attracted her to you in the first place. Think about this. When you were a single guy and you were dating your wife, well, you probably did all your own cooking, your own cleaning of your apartment, your own laundry, and you were an independent man. And that's what attracted her to you. Then you got married. Don't ever stop being that independent man. So guys, you don't want to get into the dynamic of treating your wife like a mom. So you got to look for ways to be the independent man that you were, that she fell in love with. So if there's something you see that needs to be done around the kitchen, go do it. Laundry, do it. Train your kids, by the way, to do their own laundry too. By the time they're about 10, man, it's not that hard to learn how to pour some soap in and push some buttons, right? Teach them to do their own laundry, to fold it and put it away. Teach them to pack their own lunches, to make their own breakfast. Remember, you're raising adults. You're not raising children. They're children temporarily, but you're raising them to be adults. So start that training. So there you have it, short and sweet. If you want to improve the romance in your relationship, do what we talked about last week, having the conversations, the listening, go on dates, go on weekends away. And then do what we talked about today. Start taking care of yourself. Take care of your own laundry, your own dishes, your own cooking, your own cleaning. Give just as much as you expect her to give. 100, 100. And don't keep score. Don't keep count. You just give 100% and assume that whatever she's doing, that's her 100%. But in a good marriage, you don't keep score. And part of being that independent, autonomous, healthy individual of a man is also having your own interest. Okay. Think back to, again, when you were a bachelor, when you were dating your wife, you had hobbies. It's important. It's imperative to continue this kind of stuff, not in excess, not to where your kids never see you because you're on the golf course 6 days a week, not like that, but don't give it up entirely either. You still need your hobbies. You need your interests. You need your recreation. You need, whether it's hunting, fishing, mountain biking, kayaking, basketball, softball, whatever it is you do, make sure you do a little bit of it. But here's the key. For every hour you spend per week on your hobby, you need to spend that same amount of time with your wife, and you need to afford her that same amount of time to spend each week on her hobby. So a healthy marriage is two healthy individuals that have their own hobbies, their own recreation, and they're not leaning on the other person in codependency, but rather they're independent and healthy on their own. So guys, don't lose yourself entirely in your role as husband and father, right? Don't be the guy who has no hobbies and no friends because all he does is take his kids to soccer practice and, be the family man. That's great, but that's not a good balance. Okay. So you've got to do a little bit for yourself every week, whatever your hobby, whatever your interest is. And then you've got to afford that same amount of time for your wife and her hobby. And then you've also got to spend that same amount of time each week with your wife. So if you're gone multiple days per week, multiple hours per day doing your hobby, that's too much. But if you can't even remember the last time you did it, then that's too little. So you got to find that balance to keep yourself. So again, maintain that independence as a man who does his own laundry, who has his own hobbies, but his wife has the same, and they enjoy being around each other. They don't need to be around each other.